Yeah, all right. Let me ask you a question, all right? You guys remember Paper Mario, right? We're all familiar with Paper Mario? All right, good. You guys do remember that he's getting a remake for the Nintendo Switch in like March, right? For Thousand Year Door? Yeah? Okay, good. Just want to make sure of that. Yeah, you know, just making a video out here, just reminding you that Paper Mario Thousand Year Door indeed is making a comeback. It became the comeback king of Mario RPGs, aside from, you know, Mario RPG being that last year when it released, you know, a remake of that, but you know, that's for another time. But Paper Mario, you guys, it's how long has it been since we had like an original Paper Mario game on the Nintendo Switch, or at some capacity any mention of Paper Mario at all? Oh right, Origami King. Completely forgot about that one, I gotta be honest. Anyways, this video is just me hyping it up. In all honesty, this is just me hyping up Thousand Year Door because from a personal perspective, I grew up with this one in particular. I think a lot of people grew up with the GameCube, at least my age, you know, those that are in their early to mid 20s. I think a lot of people really remember playing, you know, the GameCube at the time and then, you know, transitioning over to the Wii. And we all grew up with, you know, our Sonic Adventures and Sonic Adventure 2 battles, our Sonic Heroes. We also grew up with Pac-Man World 2, which is a phenomenal 3D platformer, by the way. You know, they should remake that as well. But aside from all that, you also Kirby's Air Ride, F-Zero on the GameCube, Star Fox Adventures and Conquest, we can't forget about those. But naturally, we also grew up with Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Yeah, Thousand Year Door is the most cherished Mario game of all time. Not just RPG, because, you know, there's also the Mario and Luigi games, you know, on the handhelds, on the GBA with Superstar Saga, and also with Partners in Time on the DS and Bowser's Inside Story. But in terms of like all 2D, not 2D, but all of Mario, Thousand Year Door is so like reminiscent in the minds of people because this to them was probably their first RPG, and to others this was a Mario game that wasn't Mario, that wasn't Sunshine, which is another game we all grew up with, and it just blew our minds. Like, it absolutely made us realize that there is more to Mario than we realized. And that's what makes the Thousand Year Door remake so incredible, because it seems to me at least that Nintendo is tapping into that again. They're tapping into their creative minds in the sense of like, people want more ambitious titles for Mario, and Thousand Year Door was that ambition. You know, as much as the original Paper Mario was great on the Nintendo 64, Thousand Year Door is where everybody became the Paper Mario fan. This was the game that made everybody understand that Mario can leap into so many other different genres, and probably the reason why people want that Sonic and Mario crossover that I made a video about like a few days ago. Yes, of course, we can also argue that Super Mario RPG was the catalyst for Paper Mario, because it did release on the SNES, and so that was before the Nintendo 64. But look, we're talking about Paper Mario here. Let him have a spotlight for once in his life. And another thing also about this Thousand Year Door remake is that this is not only another Paper Mario game that we're getting on the Nintendo Switch before we get more stuff about the Nintendo Switch 2 and whatnot, but this is also a GameCube game that got a remake slash remaster treatment, and this could pave the way for future GameCube titles to also get a spotlight as well. Like, to give you an idea of what I mean by this, if we go back to February of last year, there was Metroid Prime Remastered that was shadow launched. Like, they teased it, they gave us a trailer for it back on the February Direct, and then they released it on that day. Digital, of course. Physical, you got it like about 2 weeks later. But my point being is that they remastered, or they soft remade, one of the most iconic GameCube titles of all time, and they're doing the same thing with Paper Mario. That goes to show you that Nintendo is thinking about doing the same possibly in the near future with other GameCube titles. For F-Zero fans, this might finally be your time to get a proper F-Zero game on the Nintendo Switch before it dies out, or on the future Nintendo Switch 2. Star Fox fans, if you were a fan of Star Fox Adventure or Conquest, this might be your time to shine as well. The point is, the possibilities are open for future GameCube titles to be remade and ported on future Nintendo consoles, and Paper Mario kind of highlights that to like the 10th degree. Another thing also about this is the game preservation. Listen, if you want to play Thousand Year Door nowadays, you not only have to buy a refurbished GameCube, you also have to buy a what is considered a $500 game at this point. I don't know. Inflation has been crazy the past few weeks or years. I don't know. Time is a construct, you guys. But my point is, in this case, is that if you want to play Thousand Year Door, you're going to be spending 6 times the amount compared to the $50, $60 price tag that the remake is getting. And the remake is more or less keeping the integrity of the original game and just allowing it to have a new art style, so to speak. It's like Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe, except it may or may not give us any additional content. But again, it definitely helps our wallet by a mile. And again, it's just incredible to see Thousand Year Door finally getting that remake treatment, or finally getting a spotlight again, because like I said, this was the Paper Mario that made everybody a fan of Paper Mario. This was the game that demonstrated what Paper Mario was about, and that's why when you have the discourse with Paper Mario, you see that with Super Paper Mario, you know, Color Splash, Origami King, and also Sticker Star. You see that a lot of people are very mixed about those games because it didn't give them the satisfaction of what Thousand Year Door provided in terms of original characters, the storyline, the gameplay loop, the way that Mario was like as a character, progressing with each and every character he interacted with, the worlds you encountered. None of those games did that, and Thousand Year Door continues to highlight those points to this current day. But yeah, I think that's probably enough about Paper Mario though, at least in the meantime. In terms of reviews, in my case, since I also do reviews, by the way, you should totally check those guys out if you happen to stumble upon this video. But in terms of reviews, I absolutely want to, you know, talk more about Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Maybe get a, do a review video on that one, or first impressions, whatever the case. I'm just super excited that the biggest childhood memories of everybody that grew up with a GameCube and grew up with Paper Mario is flooding back in, and everybody is super excited for March, or I think April. Post edit will, will showcase the official release date of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, the release window. Point is, everybody is super excited, and I just can't wait for more of that Paper Mario, Like, it's just gonna be a fun time. It just is. But yeah, that's it on my part. Peace out. Have a good time. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you all with Paper Mario Thousand Year Door when it releases. And naturally, I got a lot of stuff to take care of. So, you know how it is. Roll the outro.